Hi, everybody. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm gonna actually, hopefully it's working. I am going to check my Facebook app just to make sure. Cool, it looks good. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna wait just a few minutes, but I am gonna be talking today about a very, very important topic to me personally. But for those of you who do not know me, hi, Angelica. If you don't know me, my name is Carrie Flynn. My business is Virtual Simplicity. That's the name of my company. And I'm an online business manager, which is just a fancy way of saying I get the great pleasure of helping service-based businesses that are online mostly get back into their businesses simplified and organized so that they have systems and processes and online tools that are efficient and help them make more money. Like that's the goal. My job in a short is to make my business, my clients' lives easier and their businesses run smoother so that they can focus on what they love and they can make money. The goal is to allow them to make more money and do what they want to do. And my apologies because my lighting is crapo in my house. I just got a new computer because, hey, Lily, hi, Monica. Because hello, virtual education. I had one computer, so we had to get another one. And this one's the one I use for my trainings, but I usually do my trainings during the day. Hi, Katori. I hope I'm saying your name right. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. Please say hello in the comments. I would love to know your name and what you do, what your business is, and let me know if you have an online presence or no in your business. And by presence, I don't mean social media. I mean like you work some of your business online. So for those of you who don't know about me, I would say like 99.999% of my business is online. I've only met in person 2 of my clients over the last 3 years. One of them is in this group. She's amazing. The other one I worked with for a year and a half, and I happened to meet her because she lives in the Washington, D.C. area when my husband and I were traveling there about a year ago. So I work exclusively online, and I can tell you right now that pivoting online, there's not a better time to do it than now. First of all, a ton of people are looking for help, and we're stuck at home anyway, and so people are naturally online. So it's a fantastic time for you as a business owner to get online. I have been able to grow an online business while working a 9-to-5 as a teacher, while parenting my 2 children. One is 11, her name is Eden. The other is 3.5, her name is Phoebe. While having a husband, we've been married for 15 years, our anniversary is Thursday, and he travels for his job very consistently every week. I have been able to grow that business to consistent $5,000 per month while doing all of those things. And Monica can tell you, I talked a little bit about this when I did a free challenge last week. I talked a little bit about this in that with those group of ladies who came to join me. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. So let's talk about pivoting online. So if you have a business that all you do is provide some type of service with people in real life, let me know if that's you. You can just tell me in the comments. You can tell me when you watch the replay. But if you're just providing a service or a product to people, and all you're doing is doing that in real life, then this is a perfect time for you. So I want to talk about some things, and if that's you, let me know what you do in the comments. I would love to know. But let's talk about some things that you can do, because that's what we're here to talk about. So how can you, as somebody who provides services or products in real life, how can you put that online and take advantage of the opportunities that we have today? So I'm going to give you some examples of some of my clients, and then I'm going to give you some actual things that you can do. Now, I want to be really clear that some of the things I'm going to tell you about are not quick fixes. These are not things that will make you money necessarily tomorrow. They might, but these are things that you can think about to help kind of diversify your income streams. And so give yourself an extra income stream, and this is going to expand your reach as a business owner from just the local Jacksonville area and beyond in Florida to actually getting online. I have a client right now that lives in Denmark. I have a call with somebody tomorrow to work with them, and they live in Australia, and we're talking tomorrow night. She's like a day ahead of me. I've worked with people from all over the United States and Canada and Australia and lots of different countries in Europe. It's been really a blessing to do that. And so my business, I could never do that if I was just working here in Florida. So there's a lot of growth opportunities out there for you. So one thing you can do is you can consider, Angelica says she's a photographer. And I'm so excited to hear you're launching a product line tomorrow online. So that's a really good example. So one thing you can do is look at offering, and I know Angelica has talked to me about this before. One thing you can think about is offering coaching or consulting online. That's a very popular way that people who have what I would call a front-facing business go from having just a front-facing business to going online. One of my clients that I worked with for about 6 months or so, she was a 8-figure business owner. She started from scratch a home health company in Texas. She lives in Dallas. Grew that from nothing to over 8 figures a year, and then decided to go online and become a mentor and a coach to other women who wanted to start their own businesses. She had an amazing story of how she grew her business and took it not just local but countrywide. She has different offices all over the United States. And so that's a really great example of someone who took the expertise. So if you have expertise in a topic or you have a wealth of knowledge and you want to pass that along and help other women or men in your industry, you have something to offer. I highly encourage you to look at maybe becoming a coach or a mentor or even a consultant in your industry. There's a lot of people who would love to learn about event planning and become an event planner. Are lots of people who would love to learn how to do different types of photography. I'm working with a client right now. I'm helping them set up an online course, and they do a very niche like thing where they help do like crafting, but it's like a very specific style of crafting. Guys, their email list has 25,000 people on it. That's a very niche topic, but that course is going to be very popular because they have taken the time to kind of go online and grow their influence. Okay. Another thing you can do is what Angelica was talking about in the comments. You can create what we would call a digital product. Okay. So there's lots of types of digital products. I work with these people almost exclusively, besides the coaches, which I talked about previously. I work with digital product creators all the time because I set up courses for them a ton. So you could create like a course. You could create an ebook, like a mini book, or you can do what one of my clients does. She has a bunch of what we call mini courses. I know Heather O'Brien has done this. She has a course, I believe, or it's a membership site. I can't remember. And she is a stationery designer. That's a very niche market, a very niche group of people. But she has a very healthy, good sized email list, and a lot of people have joined her membership site or course. And it's all about being a stationery designer, and she teaches them different things about that. Nobody would think to do that, but that has been very successful for her, and Heather's a great example of that. That's a digital product you could do right now. What do you know how to do that you would, instead of doing it one-to-one with somebody, you want to make it more passive. Maybe you want to create a small course or a book or something like that, and you can promote and sell that online. You could do that on your website. You could do an entire like mini program. You could do something like one of my friends did, it's almost like a mini mastermind, if you will. So if you love relationships and you love working with people, and you could take that totally online and do a small mini program, or maybe it's 4 to 6 weeks, and you walk 10 to 15 people through a process of learning how to do the type of photography. I have a client, my client from Denmark right now is creating something kind of like this, where she's a dentist in Denmark, and she is literally going to take one type of treatment that she wants to encourage other dentists to do, and she is going to teach them and create a program of how to show them how to do that. And she really wanted other dentists, not just in Denmark, to learn about this. And so she has created this entire kind of mini program, and she's going to be doing it all on Kajabi. It's all online. And she's going to reach people that she would never reach otherwise, because Denmark is a pretty small country. And so her influence and reach will be much broader because she's going to be online. Now, if you want to go full long scale view, right, like the 30,000 foot view, you could create a full scale online program. So instead of making it like mini size, you could even consider creating a full scale program. So this could be like Heather kind of did with a membership. I believe hers is a membership, where that could be monthly. And you're creating these are people are going to be with you every single month. They are going to be participating with you in maybe like a Facebook group, but you are also creating content for them every month, maybe doing a group coaching call or Q&A with them. So that's a long-term commitment, right? You could also do something like what a lot of the people I work with do, which are masterminds, which are these bigger masterminds. So maybe 6 months or longer, where you're going to be creating a long-term group kind of mastermind program, where maybe you're going to teach them or help them through the process of becoming a photographer, for example, or starting their photography business. One of my former clients is named Debbie Shadid, and she has an entire full-scale program. It's a coaching mastermind and also a course where it teaches, it helps coach women in the wedding industry. She has been in the wedding industry, I think, for like 25 years, and she has taken all of her expertise of what it's like to be in the wedding industry and created a full-scale huge program. Now this is going to be a much more expensive program, right? Because it's full scale, there's coaching involved, there's group elements, there's course content involved, there's a lot to this, and it's longer. It's like 6 to 8 months, I think, is how long her program is, but it's been really successful. So she wanted to give back to women in the wedding industry and support women who are maybe new in the industry and wanted to learn some things from her, and she wanted to pass along her wisdom and her knowledge. And so she was able to expand her business beyond just doing whatever. I think she was an event planner, I believe, when she was in the wedding industry. So just beyond being a wedding planner, she has taken that knowledge of all that she's learned about being in the wedding industry and has expanded her reach and has impacted women all over the US with her program and had great success. And so those are just some examples of things that you can do. There's so many, there's really not a wrong way to go about this, but one thing you can think about is, what do I have to offer? And number two, what is a problem that what I have to offer can solve for somebody? So if you don't have a problem to solve, then you don't have an offer to sell. That's just the way I look at it. So online, it's all about solving problems for people, and that's the way that you can make money. So for example, in my business, the problem that I solve is overwhelm, too busy, not enough time to do the back end of your business. Those are the 3 biggest complaints that people complain about when I ask them about why they were looking for support in their business in this way. So I want you to think about, what are some problems that maybe people in your industry are having that you can solve with an online course, mini course, coaching, one-to-one coaching, consulting, offering a digital product. What is something that you have knowledge that you can solve a problem for people? Because we want our clients that we work with, both in real life and online, our goal is to make working with us easy. We want to make their lives easier, right? How can you do that in your industry? And that's really important. I want you to think about that. So I have yammered on for 15 minutes. So I would like to open it up to anybody who has questions. And of course, if you're watching the replay later, please just tag me in the questions and I'll gladly answer them later. But I've worked with lots of people lots of different industries, heavily service providers. So people in your niche area, people that provide services for people and work with clients in kind of a one-to-one way. I've worked with people like that a ton. And so I've had a lot of experience kind of seeing good and bad. So I'm happy to answer questions about how to get online, maybe what your first steps could be, or even like tools that you could use to do that. If you have questions about that, I'm happy to answer that too. I will see this. It's important to have a plan before you jump into tools. But that's just my 2 cents. So if anybody has any questions, now's a fantastic time to do that. Because otherwise I'll just keep talking forever and ever and ever. And I just realized I'm chewing gum, sorry. Nobody has any questions, or everybody's typing. I don't know. Oh, there's a new comment. Oh, I missed some. Okay. Hi, Amanda. I missed the comments. Okay. How do you start marketing your new, this is from Tatum. How do you start marketing your new offerings if you decide to offer something online? This is a really good question. A lot of people say that the first trial you should do should be like a beta. And that should be organic, meaning you're just promoting it organically on social media. That's a fantastic way to do it. So after you get a beta trial, you want to get testimonials, right? So the first time I ever did a workshop, I did it about Dubsado. That was the very first paid workshop I ever did. I had about probably 10 or 15 people that just organically and through word of mouth signed up, and I used those people to get testimonials, and then those testimonials is what helps me to market myself further. Then you could get into the really fun stuff, which is Facebook ads. If you really want to go there, I do not consider myself a Facebook ads expert by any means, but I do happen to work with a lot of them because a lot of my clients have Facebook ads strategists that they employ on their teams. So I highly recommend. A lot of my friends who are in Facebook ads say not to do Facebook ads initially. If you understand Facebook ads pretty well, you can totally go that route the first time. But I highly recommend organic marketing. Use your connections. Get people who know you to promote it. I did that with my 3-day challenge, and I ended up, instead of doing 10 or 15, I had like 50 people sign up. So use your connections. That's a huge key. And if you have the income and you want to invest in paying for advertisements on Instagram, just make sure you know how to market that. There's a certain like strategy behind marketing yourself on Facebook ads, I would say, or even Instagram and other advertisements. So you just don't want to throw up anything. Your copywriting needs to be pretty good. And I'm going to say it again, make sure you have a legit problem that you're solving. If your product or whatever you're selling doesn't solve a problem, then it won't sell. So, and people can tell when they're being sold to. So that's really important. Be authentic, have a great, real authentic solution, an easy solution to a problem that the person has. So that's important. That's so key. I mean, I cannot tell you, I've worked with a lot of people who do course launches and membership site launches and stuff, and the ones that are successful are typically the ones that are solving a real problem that people have. And if they're not clear, that's when the launches typically don't go as well. Amanda says, Landon is about to start offering Showit website maintenance. Ooh, yes. That's such a good thing. You have no idea how many people hate dealing with their websites. I hate it myself. I've begged him to in the past. I think he's right. Yes, please do. And that's not something that's super, if he's really good at it and efficient, that's not something that's going to take a ton of his time either. And that's a thing that a lot of people hate doing, is dealing with their website design and their website setups. That's another thing that's I mean, I have a client I did her Dubsado setup, and she's a web designer, and she's still rocking and rolling in her business because people don't want to deal with their website setup. And people are purchasing for that kind of thing right now. So that's definitely something I think that he could be successful in. The other thing, Tatum, I forgot to tell you too, is one thing that has really helped me in my business is networking like a boss online. So finding good Facebook groups that your people are in that you're going to sell to is huge. And this would go for Landon too, Amanda. Like finding fantastic, maybe 3 to 5. Don't find any more than that. If you get more than 5 Facebook groups, you're going to be overwhelmed with social media. And then doing what one of my memberships that I'm in, she calls it marketing minutes. So spending like 20 to 30 minutes, if you have that, if not 10 to 20, a day if you can do it, if not 3 times a week, do your marketing minutes. That means you're engaging in Facebook groups that are relevant to the people that are going to purchase from you, whether it's a one-time project or a product or something like that. Engaging, offering tips, connecting with people and building relationships in those groups. If you have the ability to get into paid Facebook groups that are relevant to your business, those are fantastic. I'm in a couple of them right now and they have radically changed my business. I'm happy to share the ones that have helped me. Those are huge. But just really spending 20 to 30 minutes just kind of doing your marketing minutes. Marketing should be, if you're still wanting to bring on clients online, marketing should be a good percentage of your business time. A huge percentage. Like I wanted to say like 60 to 70%. I think I said, Monica can tell me, I think I said 80% last week. But if you're really looking for business and you are already marketing yourself with this particular product or service, get into Facebook groups that are relevant to you. And so do some research, find some that fit. So if you're a service provider, I know the Rising Tide Society is a fantastic group. That's one of them. But if you find that people that might buy from you is in that group, maybe look for other groups like that one. That's what I do. I have like 4 or 5 that are like my top 5. So for me, it's like the Dubsado group, the Kajabi group, Boss Moms is a great one. The Gold Digger podcast group is great because people are always looking in there for services that I provide. So those are like my top 4 because I offer setup services and I offer business management services as well. So I am in both of those sets of groups. So look for some Facebook groups that you can help market. Don't start marketing yourself heavily until you at least have a good idea. Even if you don't have it fully formed, you can still start marketing yourself, but I wouldn't do it until you have the idea pretty good up here. And I ask everybody to at least make a plan. So write it out or draw like a flow chart of what you want the process to look like. At least have that in the back of your mind, even if you haven't linked everything to your website correctly. That's okay. You can start marketing yourself now if you want. As one of my mentors says, pivot. Now's the time to pivot. And there ain't no better time than right now. So let's use the time that we have. I'm not going to lie, this situation sucks for people, especially if you have had just a front-facing business. It's been awful, but it's a great time to use whatever time we have, which a lot of us are stuck at home. I know I'm one of those people, and it's an opportunity to think in the future about what we want our businesses to look like down the road, so that if this were to happen again, we have a tree that has more than one branch on it in our business, and that's a good thing, I think. So think of what you can offer, and let's market this bad boy and get you guys some clients. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions because I haven't. I have more. Geez, okay. I keep missing them. I just rambled. How do you identify? I'm scrolling down to Lisette's question because I totally missed the part what Amanda said about her husband. Yes, I understand. 100%. He should totally listen to you. This is absolutely a good idea for him to do. Tell him I said that. I'll be your backup on that. Lisette says, I wanted to offer WordPress maintenance package. Any tips for marketing? Everything I just said about that would apply to website designers too, and maintenance people. Absolutely 100%. Tatum posts a couple questions, so I'm going to try my best to answer them. How do you identify a problem that your market has? What are the first steps? Oh, that's such a good question. What are the first steps to creating a digital product if you aren't a very good technical person and have good content to share? So the first thing is, how do you identify a problem? A good way to do that is market research. And that sounds that's a really scary phrase, right? I don't want you to freak out about that. That's just asking questions. Ask good questions. You can pose a question in a Facebook group. Especially if those people are in your target, and I'm leaning closer to the computer because my lighting is so bad, I'm sorry. I don't want to look shadowed. So if it's freaking you out, I'm sorry. I would say ask really good questions. That is what I have been taught to do by people who are great in sales. I'm actually in a paid membership right now that is just focused on sales and marketing for service businesses, and she has really helped me to rethink the questions I'm asking. And one thing you can do is pull your past clients. Go to your past clients too that you have worked with, especially if what you're going to do online is similar, like a similar niche, similar group of people. Start asking your clients question. I just did this last week. I was working with my coach and she gave me a few questions to kind of ask them to kind of get some more information. So when I'm sharing online, I can make sure that what I'm asking and what I'm talking about is relevant to the problem that I was helping. So I was asking my clients questions like, what was the reason why you decided to reach out for support in this area? So for me, that's important. Well, why would you want to hire somebody like me? What was the tipping point? And so that was the question. What was the tipping point that made you reach out for help? And then the second question I asked them was, what was it about me that made you want to hire me? And then the third question I asked them was, what was the experience like working with me? And so I'm looking for key words that all of them were saying. Now, you don't have to use those questions because that might not be relevant to your business, but it was certainly relevant to mine. So think of some questions that you can ask and do some market research. Ask people in Facebook groups. Just make sure you check the Facebook group rules so that you're not, some groups do not allow market research. And even if you're asking questions, they might think that's market research, and we don't want to break any Facebook group rules. But you can certainly pull anybody in your former clients that might be a fit for something you're going to offer online. Those are great people to ask. You can also ask people in your circle who work with you maybe and know some of this information too. So that's something to think about as well. Oh, what are the first steps to creating a digital product if you're not technical? If you're not technical, you could keep it really simple. You don't have to necessarily get out and do a massive like setup on a really techie tool. You could literally do a mini, like just an example. I had a client who literally did just a mini course where she used like Loom or something like Loom. I don't think Loom existed back then, but she just recorded herself doing the video trainings. And she had slides, that she was using to train, and then she used the product, whatever she was training on. She created the content on a video, and then she put the video links on a website page on her website, and then that was the course. It was real simple. It wasn't fancy pants. There wasn't a bunch of tech involved. But look, done is better than perfect. Okay, and sometimes you got to get her done, and then you can go back later and perfect it. Get it out there. You can fix it and make it fancy later. If you really have a problem, you have a way to solve a problem, get it out there. Get it together. So if it's getting on and taking like 2 hours on a Sunday to record videos, and then I don't even care if you put it in a Google Doc. Do what you got to do to get it out there, okay? So those are just some ways to do that. What's my favorite platform to offer courses? Okay, so I'm a Kajabi person, and Heather knows this. But Kajabi is like, I'm not going to say the Rolls Royce of courses and membership sites, but it's not cheap. And that's because it offers websites, hosting. You can do standalone landing pages and sales pages. You can do pipelines where you have registration, opt-ins, and confirmation pages. You can do affiliates. You can host a course and a membership site up to 15 in one account. It also does email marketing and automations. So it's like the Cadillac, maybe not the Rolls Royce of it. It is not cheap, and that is why many people don't start out with that, because they don't want to pay. I think it's like the lowest end is $150 a month. So it is not super cheap, but as much as I don't love the functionality of Teachable and Thinkific are great starter tools if you just want to get it out. And they still offer a lot of great things in them, and they're much less cost, much less. Webinars, the one that I use the most is Zoom, but there are lots of other options out there, and it would be fantastic to just kind of do the research and look at the pros and cons. There are a lot of really great people who've done blog posts and YouTube videos about comparing different webinar tools. That's a fantastic way to figure that out, but I'm a big Zoom girl. myself. I know how to work it. And so, and that pairs with Kajabi really well. And so that's why a lot of my clients end up using that. Okay, Lisette says, I also have a downloadable product I want to sell. So you recommend having a few people use it in beta. I wouldn't even say a few people, however many people you can get in a beta test first. Get those testimonials. Yeah, and then you can create a really fantastic, and if you already have your sales funnel ready, like you already got your nurture emails ready to go ahead and do that. Like jump in and do it now. But you can use an email marketing system to do just email funnels. I know we all love Flowdesk here. I'm a Flowdesk person myself. They do automations, and so you could do automated workflows with an email sequence in there if you wanted to. If you really want to get fancy pants, you can do ConvertKit or let's see. I think Active Campaign's not that expensive. And then if you want to, you could jump into something like Kajabi later on, which does that for you in the system itself. But I would highly recommend something that you're comfortable with. But if you're just going to do a nurture sequence like a funnel and have them go through the sequence and then purchase from you, and it's just a downloadable product like from your website or something, like doing it through an email system would be totally fine. Like that would be absolutely totally doable. Don't complicate it. That's what I would say. You can use an LMS plugin on WordPress. Yes, you can. And that's not that expensive either. And they do have membership site plugins too. And so if you have a WordPress site, that's a totally good way to go to start, because a lot of WordPress has a lot of really good plugins. I don't have a WordPress site, and so that isn't an option for me. And I'm not going to do that because I've already got my website set up on Squarespace. I'm not sure if Squarespace has that though. I'm not sure about that. All right, I'm going to scroll and make sure I didn't miss anything at all. But I do want to encourage you guys while I'm waiting for any more questions. It is totally doable to go online, even if you are a, even if you're an event planner, a wedding DJ, if you do, I don't know, there's so many things. Everybody in this group has an opportunity to go online. So even if you're a restaurant, you provide catering, like, I have a dentist working with me right now. That's crazy, right? It's amazing. You can totally go online. Anybody can do it. It's just about finding the problem in your market that you have a great way to solve. So that's the first test, is to decide, what do I have that I can help fix for somebody? And how can I make that pain point go away fast? And people like that. They like it to go away fast. So I'm going to wait for just a few, however long, any questions you guys have. I want to make sure I answer everything. And if you're watching the replay later on, totally put the questions in the comments and just tag me in them, because I will gladly answer them. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, if you have like a personal question, I totally open you can PM me on Facebook. You just like send me a message and I'll happily answer it there. I'm glad to connect with you and make sure you feel supported through this time. It's been really busy, but if your business has taken a hit, I want to encourage you to take the time to work on you first. Take care of yourself. This is really important. We're talking about strategies right now that are really great, but if you're not in a good place to do that, I really want to encourage you not to stress yourself about that. You will have time. We're going to be in this process for a little longer than we had hoped, right? We have another month at least, I think till the end of April, they said now. So you have time. So please don't stress yourself out. Don't panic yourself. The most important thing is to take care of you first and make sure you're okay. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, panicked, don't worry about these things right this minute. Take care of yourself first. And then when you're ready, I want you to start planning and thinking, how can I pivot? What can I do to get online? And another thing I forgot to mention is you can look at other people who have done this in your industry too and see how they've done it. I don't want you to compare yourself to them, because they're not you. Everybody here there's enough room for all of us, and everybody here has uniqueness in the industry that you're in, that you bring to the table, that is different than the other person in your industry. And that's what makes you unique. Even if there's a bajillion photographers, there's a ton of people that do what I do. But I do it a unique way that nobody else does. And that's why certain people hire me. And it's the same with your industry. So just take care of yourself first. Please, please take care of you first. But when you're ready, let's work out a plan. So I encourage you to plan out, like write it out, get a journal. I did mine in a Google Doc. You know, if you've got a Trello or a project manager, you can type it out there. Plan out, what do you visualize? What do you want it to look like? And then how are you going to solve that problem? What do you want this to look like? And then put something together. It can be super mini simple. Like, don't get stuck in perfectionism, because perfectionism doesn't pay any of the bills, guys. We are here to make money, and there's nothing wrong with you wanting to pay the bills and make money for your family. There's nothing wrong with having dreams and goals and financial goals. There's nothing wrong with that, and it is not bad to sell right now. Don't shame yourself into thinking that you don't need to sell right now. That's okay for you to want to sell right now. People need your help. They're just waiting for your offer. That's so important. So I highly encourage you, sorry, getting on my soapbox, but I've been really frustrated by that. So I want you guys to know that you have the time to do this, and you totally can. If I can do this with all of the cray-crayness that is going on in my own life, you totally can do this. I totally believe in you. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm so happy to help you in any way that I can. And if nobody else has any questions, then I will let you guys go and bid adieu to you and say good night and wish you well. But more importantly, I wish you safety. Please stay inside. Please don't go outside. Please go out for a walk, but please try to stay social distancing and keep yourself safe. And I'm here for you if you guys need anything. Please drop a comment. I'm going to wait like 5, 10, 15 more seconds, and then I'll end the video. But I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And I appreciate the amazing team at Tuesdays Together, Jax, for letting me come on and share. It has been amazing. I so enjoy this group. Thank you guys so much. Alrighty, guys. Well, nobody is posting anything. I'm scrolling. I don't see anything. So I will say good night. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you guys later.